So Nikhil, you've been around for a while and you've partnered up with a lot of brands in that time. What's so special about Sheltr?
Well, when we first got together as a team to talk about this brand that we wanted to launch in clothing, we spoke about how music has inspired all of us in different ways. And what became pretty obvious very soon or very quickly was that we were going to do a line of clothing that was inspired by music. Not any one kind of music, but by music as a moving, living, breathing thing. But to try and accurately describe what Sheltr is, that's a little more difficult because it's like trying to describe the kind of emotions you go through when you hear your most favorite song in the world. I mean, you can say joy, but that doesn't really quite encapsulate what you feel, right?
Yeah.
So that's where Sheltr is coming from.
I've also heard you've been very hands-on with the entire collection. What influences you to come up with these ideas for the collection?
That would probably be because I'm compulsive and obsessive. There's a condition for it. I'm not quite sure what it's called. But I don't like handing over too much control of anything that I do in my life, which is why I like to be hands-on with everything, whether it's the music festivals that I do, or the television shows that I've been a part of, or this clothing line. And working with the entire team on this range has been fantastic because the ideas have flowed back and forth. We've occasionally disagreed, which is great because if everything just goes too smoothly, you know that something's not quite right. And I think we've come up with a very good line for the first drop that we're doing.
So I'm really curious, what are some of your favorite looks from the entire collection?
So I'm the kind of person that is quite stereotypical in a way. If you watched what I did on MTV Select for 11 years, I pretty much wore t-shirts and jeans. And even now, when I go out clubbing or when I'm going out for an event or for dinner, I'm wearing t-shirts and jeans. If it's a formal event, I'll occasionally iron the t-shirt, but otherwise it's usually t-shirts and jeans. But what we've done with Sheltr is that we've cut them a little bit differently. So there's still t-shirts and jeans. There's still stuff that you can wear every day, office or college, or whether to hang out with your friends. But they just cut just a little bit differently. And that's been inspired by people who are more into music than the average person. So let me explain that. Everybody listens to music. Some people listen to all kinds of music, and some people are very particular about the kind of music that they listen to. Okay? The people that are more particular about the kind of music they listen to also tend to be more particular about what they wear. They're still wearing jeans and t-shirts, but their jeans are just a little bit different. Their t-shirts, when you look at everybody in college, just a little bit different. Sheltr is meant for people who care more about music than the average person, for whom life without music would be unthinkable.
India is going through an EDM revolution right now. So where do you think it's all headed? What does the future hold for EDM?
Well, the great thing about India right now is that the EDM part of it is the most visible part of it. We're actually going through a music revolution. We're seeing more and more artists put out music in all different kinds of genres, not just in electronic music. So we're seeing more techno productions, we're seeing more drum and bass productions, but we're also seeing an indie music resurgence. We're seeing bands producing English original content. We're seeing bands produce songs and write songs in local languages. So the kind of music catharsis that we're going through right now all across India, across genres, is pretty staggering. And if you go online and you look at Indian artists and Indian musicians, the kind of music that they're producing is absolutely world class. We just need a better form of distribution. We need better representation so that music can get across to more people. And when that does happen, we're going to dominate the world.
So artists such as yourself influence the wardrobes of millions. Okay, you're a trendsetter for many people. What basis do you choose what to wear when you go out and play music or when you go out and create music?
Well, usually the only thing that I care about is underwear. It must be black. Beyond that, well, whatever's lying on top of the shelf, you put that on, but it doesn't really matter.
So I once heard Bon Jovi say, when you like an artist, you should listen to their inspiration. Who have been your musical inspirations?
So the tricky thing is, I didn't move out of the country till I was about 26. And that was when I first traveled abroad and I listened to artists from abroad and I listened to different DJs play in clubs across the world, especially in Ibiza. But before that, I was greatly influenced by the DJs that played in Bangalore. Now, Bangalore has always been the hotbed for musical innovation, largely because there are so many campuses in Bangalore. And when you're studying, and when you come from different parts of the world to study in one city, you bring musical influences from all those different parts of the world to that city, which is why the music scene in Bangalore has always been on the cutting edge. Now, when I was growing up in Bangalore, DJs in the places that we went to always tried to influence us and make us listen to new tracks and new records that weren't available in the city. And every time we went to a club, it was like an education. You were waiting for the DJ to blow you away. Because if you heard the same music that you listened to on the way in your car, or you listened to at the gym, or was playing on television, it wasn't really such a big deal because it's a hum-along song, it's a sing-along song, and that's fine. But the reason I went clubbing and my friends went clubbing was to be amazed by the DJ. And the DJ was the conductor of all things wonderful. And when he played that new record that none of us had heard before, and those bass vibrations went through our entire body, that music took you to a place that you couldn't physically go to. You went there in your mind, you went there in the company of your friends, and you went there with the bass drum.
So there's a whole new generation of artists out there waiting to be inspired. Like you were inspired by Bangalore DJs. What would you want to say to them?
Well, the first thing that I'm going to say is something that's not very inspiring, which is don't aim to go from playing in front of your curtains, which is in your bedroom, to in front of 10,000 people overnight. That's not the way it works. If you want to be an accomplished musician, it takes a lot of time. And there really is, like our parents told us, no real substitute for hard work. So if you want to excel in any field, whether it's a sound engineer, a sound producer, a DJ, a musician, you've really got to put in the hours. And there's no shortcuts to doing that. You can get a good team around yourself that'll help you in your social media, that'll help you get more gigs and do better gigs. But at the end of the day, it is about the music. It's not about the hairstyle. It's not about the size of the LED screen. It's not about the confetti or the smoke machines. It is eventually about the music. And that's how it should be. So if you want to get ahead, if you want to be amazing, make sure your music is amazing.
Thanks, Nikhil. It was great catching up with you. See you at the next gig.
See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.